Hi everybody, my name's Kay. You're watching Amidst the Gray, and today I will outline my intentions for No Buy, Low Buy December 2022. Let's do it. My voice is slowly but surely improving. I'm at work today, so we're getting there. We're getting there. I don't know what this is, but I'm ready for it to go away. I digress. Yesterday, when I was home being miserable in my bed and yet still managing to film a video for YouTube, it was my No Buy November part 2. I got to thinking about what I really wanted for December as far as how this looks like. And in the end, what I came up with is actually not too terribly different for what I did for November. For November, I had 4 no buy categories. At least I intended to not buy in those categories. And those categories were hobbies and interests, anything esoteric related with a whole subsection of categories underneath that. Anything related to my interests, essentially, because I didn't need anything. Personal care was another category that I didn't need anything. Home decor and clothes and shoes. I didn't need anything in any of those categories. And I did not spend in any of those categories, with the exception of just over $10 in the hobbies category, because I did decide to go ahead and invest in some video editing software, mobile software for this little endeavor. So, and I was okay with spending that. Other than that, I didn't spend at all. I had 2 low buy categories. One was coffees out, and the other was eating out, and I went under on both of those. I allowed myself 2 coffees out for the month of November. I only had one, and I only spent half for the eating out allowance that I had given myself and my son. So that was a big success. Then I had 2 monitoring categories, groceries and gas, just because you have to spend in those. But I really wanted to pay attention to exactly what was going where in each of those. For December, I'm pretty much leaving those categories as they were, with the exception of, actually, no, 2 exceptions. My hobbies and interests category, I am going to spend there, but I'm doing what I'm calling an intentional spend. I know what I want, and I'm just going to purchase those 2 items within that category, and my intention is to not, no, 3 items. My intention is not to acquire anything aside from those 3 items in that particular category. Personal care, I do need a couple of things. I'm giving myself a $25 allowance for that for the month, because I think I can get what I need with that, and I really don't need anything else. Home decor, I'm not spending. I think I mentioned that at the beginning of November. I really felt I wouldn't spend on home decor in December or even January, and I still might hold to that. So no home decor this month. And clothes and shoes, again, don't intend to spend unless it's weather related. If something happens to my boots or if I need gloves, I will make an exception for those 2 things. I should probably go ahead and toss in here that because it is December, I will be buying gifts for others within reason. My family and I, we don't go hog wild on gift giving. My parents and I have gotten to the point where we're just like, we don't need anything. Can we just spend time together? And that's more than enough. My son has a couple of things that he wants, but he already knows. He already knows the bulk of his Christmas allowance is going to a trip that we are taking in April for spring break, and we've already had this discussion, and it's going to be a somewhat expensive trip, expensive for us. And so we made the decision together that we're going to put a lot of what we would have spent toward that trip in April. So he has a couple of things that he'll get, but other than that, the bulk of the money is going for his senior year spring break trip that we are taking in April. And like I said, Gifting within reason, nothing crazy. So what am I buying in my personal interest slash hobbies category? My intentions for that category, I have 3 items that I'm going to, I think, go ahead and allow myself. Number one is a pen, but not just any pen. It is a Sarasa Grand Vintage metal barrel in the blue gray color, the lighter blue color. These are my favorite pens. There's a whole series of them. I think there are 11 in total. They all have metal bodies and they all have the same color ink as the body. And I have 3 out of the 11 right now. I have the green black, I have the camel yellow, and I have the brown gray. I have those right now, and I would really like to get the lighter blue color, the lighter blue gray. And then I think in January I'm going to get the darker blue, but I haven't decided yet. But I started collecting the Grands in August, and I was getting one a month. And then I decided in November I wasn't going to get one because I have a lot of other pens I could use up. So for December, I am going to allow myself that pen, and I estimate after tax it'll be roughly about $11. The second item I'm allowing myself is a small bag of beeswax because I'm going to make a seasonal candle for winter that I will have ready for the winter solstice and the duration of the winter season. Hopefully it will last that long. But I've dabbled in candle making before and I really enjoy it. And it is a little bit cheaper to make your own. And so I'm going to allow myself a small little stash of beeswax so I can melt it down and make my own candle. So the pen, the beeswax, and the last item is I'm going to go ahead and invest in a very, very basic external audio setup for, again, this little endeavor. I don't intend on spending a whole lot, just something to give my audio a little boost because I am just using my phone's external the external microphone. So maybe something to give that a little bit of a little oomph. So audio, beeswax, and a pen. Those are my allowances for hobbies. I'm not buying books still. No decks. No jars, no bottles, no herbs, no spices, nothing else like that. All those items that were on my list before will stay. So I have those 3 items. That's my intention for the personal interest hobbies category. Home decor, again, I'm not spending. Clothes and shoes, not spending unless it's weather related. Personal care, I just need a handful of things, just personal things, and they're not, I don't think, going to come to more than $25. So that's my allowance for that month. Low buy categories, I'm going to do coffees out again, and I'm going to do eating out again because I did not feel deprived at all in either one of those categories last month. And again, this is a month of holiday extravaganzas, and there will be food, and I just don't think we need to go out a whole lot. And we came under budget last month. So I have a feeling, though, I probably will do 2 coffees out just because I might be out and about a little bit more than I was in November. I went nowhere in November. I really didn't. And so I might go ahead and allow myself my 2 coffees out. And I will still monitor groceries and gas just because I like to know kind of what I'm doing and how much is going to both of those. My gas, I mentioned in my other video, I only filled up once at the beginning of November, and I'm still driving on that tank of gas. I haven't been anywhere, but I might venture out a little bit more. We're getting some snow around here, so I might go venture into the snow a little bit. So gas might be a little bit higher, and I will still monitor groceries. Again, groceries, I've decided I'm not feeling bad about spending as much as I do in that category because, yeah, I like food. I like to cook, and I have a 17-year-old who burns through everything as soon as he eats it. So that's just not going to be a feel bad category for me anymore. I'm buying what I want and not feeling bad, and that's just how that's going to be. Um, and then, of course, in this entire thing, I pay my bills, power stays on, phone still works. um, my water, septic, and waste collection are all included in my rent, and so I don't have to worry about those. Um, car insurance is like the big expense for this month, and that of course gets paid. But like all the bills are getting paid. So these are all just like the little extras that are nice to have, but not essential. And I think what I might do for 2023, instead of like referring this as like no buy, low buy, I might just call it intentional buy. Because I really think that kind of thinking about what would bring something to your life and then intentionally saving for those items rather than just going out and buying them, but just intentionally kind of mapping out, I'm going to get this month. I'm going to wait on that and maybe get that next month, depending on how I feel. I like this. I like that approach. Again, if something crazy comes up, I will use my intuition and make that judgment call, when that time comes. But I do like having kind of a map of, and it really makes me stop and think. Do I really want to bring that into my life? Do I really want to pay that second price that I talked about in my part 2 of November No Buy that Jessica from Jessica and the Moon mentioned in her video? Do I really want to pay that price twice? Is this really worth paying that price twice? And I'm finding more and more that so many things just aren't worth paying that second price. And so that's really making me pause and reflect on what I have. Will whatever this is that I'm contemplating add any value? And do I want to pay that second price of owning that item and upkeeping that item and having that item in my space? That is, I think, going to be my approach from here on out. And again, it just makes you kind of look at what you already have and see how you can use it in new ways. And I'm finding this whole thing just very, it's a challenge, but it's a good challenge. And it's causing me to kind of do some out of the box thinking and conceptualizing. And I really like that. I think deep down, that's kind of like a marker for me on how I thrive, as if I can kind of get creative with all of that. But yeah, this is just a rambly kind of, this is what I have planned. Part 2, I think part 2 at the end of the month, I'll break it down. I haven't decided how far I'm going to break that down, but I will be more elaborate kind of in breaking down the information. I might get a little more specific regarding what I spent on what. I haven't decided how personal I want to go with that. But anyway, yeah, that's really quick. I got to go do the work thing now for a little while longer. And then I get to leave early today because my son has an appointment. And yeah, so that's okay. So, okay, until my next video, take care and be well.